Joined by an all-time great, our NBA champion, Rip Hamilton. So, Rip, we can't say enough about Giannis, but let's move forward. His list of accomplishments at age 26 is just extraordinary. So what is the ceiling for him as a player?
Hey, Jenny, I would have to agree with you. It's when you look at it, it's mind-boggling. What he's able to accomplish already in his 8th year, 5 NBA All-Selection teams, 5 NBA All-Stars, 2-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. I believe that this kid right here can arguably go down as the best power forward of all time. If he keeps on going this way and keep developing as a player, I know all the time we always scratch our head and say, hey, you know what, Giannis, got to get a jump shot. Giannis got to shoot better from the free throw line. But what he's able to do with his athletic gifts and being a guy that can play multiple positions on the floor. We haven't seen a power forward ever do this. A guy that can play some point, you can move him to the shooting guard, he can play the center position, and he can dominate the game on both ends of the floor. I mean, it's remarkable, it's incredible. The kid is not even turned 27 years old. And you got to remember, most NBA guys, we don't reach our ceiling until we're about, in our prime, until we're about 29 to 30 years old. So I just feel as though this kid can go down as one of the, not just one of, but the best power forward of all time.
Strong words there. Giannis, the 7th player in NBA history to have 50 points in the finals. The last two, LeBron James and Michael Jordan. Well, after the win, Giannis made a statement regarding his decision to stay in Milwaukee. Take a listen to this.
Like, it's easy to go somewhere and go and win a championship with somebody else. It's easy. I could go, I don't want to put anybody in the spot, but I could go to a super team and, just do my part and win a championship, still won. But this is the hard way to do it, and this is the way. And we did it. We did it, man.
Bleeping did it. All right, do you think this will entice stars to stay with the team that they were drafted to, even if it is in smaller markets?
I do think so. I mean, when you look at Giannis, I mean, what he's done in Milwaukee is absolutely remarkable, especially when you're right next door to Chicago, which is a huge market in the NBA. But John Horst has done an excellent job of building the right players around Giannis Antetokounmpo. No, they didn't build through free agency. They built this team through trades and adding new pieces with adding Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton and adding them guys like that to build around Giannis Antetokounmpo. When you look at the Phoenix Suns and a kid like Devin Booker, who's in a small market in Phoenix, yes, they had a lot of success. Yes, in previous years, we all thought that a guy like him will move to a bigger market. You heard the New York Knicks wanted a guy of his caliber. But when you have success like he's had this season and make it all the way to the NBA Finals, you just can't leave that organization. So I do believe that, hey, you know what? If teams are able to draft a star player like Giannis Antetokounmpo that has the potential to win a world championship, and then you start adding pieces around him, and he feels comfortable and understands that, hey, you know what? You guys are going to build around me and bring the right pieces to the organization to give me a chance. And he felt that way. So hats off to him. But I do think that guys that play in small market teams, especially if they have trust in management, then yes, they will take an opportunity to stay.
Yeah, you look at a guy like Zion Williamson, for example, with the Pels, and you wonder if they're going to be able to build around him. So just something to keep an eye on. We're going to move over to the coaching quarter for a moment here. Coach Bud, he went from being on the hot seat to now an NBA champ. What did he do to turn it around?
Well, first of all, Coach Bud, I have to say it. He got lucky for the simple fact there was a lot of injuries, especially with Brooklyn losing Kyrie Irving. But I do think but you got to be lucky to win a championship, Jenny, too. But in the finals, I thought that he made the adjustment of playing Portis because I thought that, when Giannis came back, he left him on the bench, didn't give him a whole lot of opportunities on the floor. But he was a guy that was a stretch for his toughness really helped them, especially on the defensive end. But the one thing that I thought Coach Bud did was he continuously played fast. He played really fast in the open court. He understood that this is not a half-court offensive team. But the thing that I love about this squad, the guys, the veterans, they took challenges. Drew Holiday took a challenge to say, all right, you know what, I got to limit Chris Paul success on the offensive end. I got to cut the head off the stakes. PJ Tucker, he took a challenge in trying to contest Devin Booker and kind of use his body and use his strength and try to wear them guys down. I thought that, hey, yes, he did take Brook Lopez off the court on many possessions on the floor and put Giannis at the 5, so they were able to switch pick and rolls with Devin Booker and Chris Paul, because they know that, hey, these guys were the guys that was going to dictate the offense for the Phoenix Suns. So he did make minor adjustments, but I just felt as though the guys on this team really took challenges and understood that, hey, you know what, we might not ever get another opportunity to play in the NBA Finals. So we got to take advantage of this opportunity.
They did. It was a mix of luck, timing, all of that good stuff added together. This is just a side note, but before the game, Coach Bud said that he goes on long walks and listens to music to clear his head. And when they asked him, they're like, what are you listening to out there? He was like, I'm not telling you. I don't want people to realize how boring I am. It's just so boring, but a winner. So that all works out. Now, this is a pretty big offseason for the Suns. So you got Chris Paul with that massive $44 million player option, Ayton eligible for rookie max. What's going to happen? I mean, what's next for them?
Well, one, I think their main priority is give DeAndre Ayton the Supermax. I mean, this kid done really developed all season long. He's got better, and they don't even run plays for him. I thought he was the anchor on the defensive end, and Coach Monty Williams believed that, hey, this kid right here can one day be Defensive Player of the Year. Also, they got to make a decision on Chris Paul, but Chris Paul got to figure out, because I heard before the playoffs that he was thinking about giving up his player option to try to get a longer extension. Now, do the Phoenix Suns want to give him that? Do they want to say, all right, you know what, we want to give him a long-term deal at the age of 36? Or do Chris Paul say to himself, hey, you know what, do I want to take less money and maybe go to another contender, maybe play with his best friend, LeBron James, for the Los Angeles Lakers? So there's a big question mark for them at the point guard position, but I think their top priority is to sign DeAndre Ayton and also try to get Chris Paul to either sign a long-term extension or to play his last year of his deal.
Keep the team together as much as possible. All right, we know that it just ended last night, but I want your way too early prediction for next year's NBA Finals match. What do you got?
I'm going with the Brooklyn Nets. If Brooklyn Nets is healthy, I don't think it's a team on this planet that can beat them. And also, they get another year of playing together for a full season. We all know about all the injuries they had all season long, guys in and out of the lineup. I just believe if this team's healthy and they get another year under their belt, I just believe that this team is the best team in basketball.
All about health. That's the way it is from the get-go. Rip, thank you for joining us here on CBS Sports HQ. Always a blast chatting with you. Now, still, we got plenty to talk about when it comes to the NBA. Looking at some notable dates coming up. July 29th, the draft. It's really right around the corner, and we're going all the way to the start of Summer League. That is August 8th, all happening in Las Vegas.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.